Keep your head up and your ass down. It's go time.
Hi, it's Zobo1975 and we're back here again on Black Ops 2. This is me on Hijacked on a TDM, just on my own. I think I was just waiting for Elliot to come online, and I had what can only be described as the laggiest game ever. I was just warming up before playing League Play, and I've got to say this was just lag-tastic and shit. And it just highlights how little Activision give a fuck about their player base once, you know, it's moved on to the new game. I know this is an old Call of Duty, I know they don't support it anymore, but they still sell it as an online multiplayer game, and they're still actually making revenue from sales of this thing. And it would cost hardly anything to support it just that little bit better, you know, just that little bit more, just to show that they give a fuck to the community. Because when you look at buying something like COD World War II, it's a fucking expensive game. You've got the map packs, you've got the DLC, it's an expensive old business. You're going to be spending probably about £100 on a game that's got 1 year fully supported and maybe one other year of multiplayer lifespan left in it before they give it up and don't bother anymore. That's appalling. That is fucking atrocious. That is just skanky and cheap. You know, you get better support on games from like free-to-play developers. And it is a conscious choice from them, don't get me wrong, because they could support these games a lot better than they do, but they choose not to because they think it will affect sales on future Call of Duties. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it should affect sales on future Call of Duties, but not in the way they expect. I think we should not bother fucking buying any more Call of Duties until they actually support and sell their product and manage it and run it properly. By leaving these games to modders, hackers, griefers within inside the first 2 years, they are just showing they don't give a fuck about you, the player, the consumer. They're too scared to support these games on the basis that you might not buy their new product. But I'm of the opinion that we shouldn't be buying their new product because they don't support these old games, because they don't give a fuck about their player base, because all they care about is selling the new shit. I mean, I would only be making this case if there was a decent player base to talk about. But let's have a look. So this is just a random evening in the week. That's not a bad player base for a shooter on Xbox at the moment. You know, just under 30,000 on a non-peak time. That's pretty good. That's a pretty decent amount of players. It tops out about 50 to 60,000 players on Black Ops 2. And those 60,000 customers are being left on the whole with a reasonably bitter experience of Activision's support. If they run into a hacker, mod, or griefer, they know that game's ruined. They just have to leave and try and find another one without a hacker, mod, or griefer in it. And this is a life cycle that's gone on with all Activision Call of Duty products for years. They just support it for a while and then hand it over to the griefers and the modders. They just turn it over and go, fuck it, we're not policing this anymore, do what you like. You only have to go on the scoreboard, on the leaderboards, and you will see the amount of people with 6 billion score per minute and modded and hacked accounts. It is ludicrous, it is ridiculous, and it's just so shit, this level of support they give, the customer service, the customer care. I mean, if I brought, you know, any product and the aftercare support was as bad as Activision's, I don't know why I would go back the next year and buy a new version of that product. And it's bizarre to me that they get away with it. You would think that somebody would make more of an issue. You would think it would be negative marketing at least. But they get away with it. They get away with it year on year on year. And they support other games that they produce much better than they do Call of Duty. They give other games, you know, full support for many, many years. They choose to do it with Call of Duty because of the release cycle and because of the way they make money. That is why they choose to do it with Call of Duty. They choose to stiff us because they want us to buy the new, latest, shiny Call of Duty and to abandon and ditch the older games, even though the older games are eminently playable and would still work with just a minor amount of support. It's frustrating, it's annoying. I think it's totally anti-consumer. I think it is actually breaching some guidelines somewhere, surely. If you're selling a product that's advertised as being multiplayer, you should at least have an obligation to support or run the multiplayer. to at least do something to police it. There should be like a baseline level that you have to give the consumer. But that's my opinion. Let me know in the comments what yours is. I'm actually going to let the last bit of this gameplay just play out without me talking, and say that's all, and thanks for watching there.
Good strike. 2 EKIA.
UAV on standby. Be advised, your sentry gun has been destroyed.
He's gone.
Good fight. Time to get paid.
Got a kill!